We arrive in wine country to kick off the closing half of this season's schedule, and the main question is, can anyone catch Bo Albert? The Australian's point lead was maintained throughout the adversity he faced in the endurance round, and with a return to normalcy, will he pull away? That's the main question. Or will Sindre Silva continue his Endurance Cup momentum to capture yet another win on the season? We will find out together over the next hour as we welcome you to live Lights to Flag coverage on the Automotive Sports Network. Victor Vallee in the production truck, Dylan Baadte next to me in the commentary cube. I am Josh Mertz, as this broadcast is brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency designed by sim racers for sim racers, and our racers will race to own the winner's coin tonight. You can check out their platform and their vision at simracercoin.org. We're going to jump right into it as we take a look at the points coming into today's race. Bo Albert, 91 points ahead of Magnus Okenhaug, who is 12 behind. Sindre Silva with 74. Ray Kingsbury, Connor Parisi, Kraus, Ragster, Cryer, Rateau, Edmondson. That is your top 10. You'll notice a huge gap from Albert to Okenhaug. Remember, Dylan, last week, Okenhaug, another string of bad luck.
Yeah. Another string of bad luck. He's been fast, though. It's not like the car's lacking or anything. He just, the Twilight Zone's been striking, and some of these guys, unfortunately, are suffering for it.
The Constructors' Championship, 177 points. Jim Beaver Esports has 91. Spark LLM, 177, I should say. 86-point gap in that championship. Huge gap for the Jim Beaver squad to make up, and it's really only Connor Parisi. So I hate to really say it, but I think Spark might finally have this one on lock. And the Manufacturers' Championship, 109 points for Subaru, 91 for Volkswagen, and 44 for Ford. But there's a guy named Jake Robinson who's making his return this tonight, so we will have to wait and see. Track layout, 0.93 of a mile. It uses the carousel here at Sonoma going backwards, and it uses the little bit of asphalt that was created, I believe, in 2000 for the NASCAR Cup Series when they decided to run a different shortened version of that track. And the top 5 in practice, Dylan, all race winners, and 4 out of the 5 are World Championship drivers: Robertson, Albert, Okenhaug, Parisi, and Silva. This should be spectacular.
Yeah, these guys are pretty quick. We got the top 4 are all in the 40-second bracket, and then Sindre Silva's in 5th, and he's just a 100th of a second off of being in that bracket too. And even the guys behind him there are all still pretty close. So it looks like we got about 7 or 8 cars that are all going to be pretty competitive. If those guys all make it into the final, we're going to have a heck of a race.
And looks like we have 23 cars here today, so we're going to have 4 heats, 6 laps apiece. You have to take the Joker lap once. The top 2 will transfer. That will bring us into 2 last chance qualifiers, C main, B main, consolation. Swap the terms how you'd like. That will be a 5-lap race, Joker once, and the winner of each race will transfer. It'll give us 10 cars, 10 laps, and 2 Jokers around this circuit. And this was my final race in NASA Rallycross at this track. And let me tell you, that carousel section, very tricky to get right. We will see drivers throughout the night running, essentially treating the grass like it's an inside curb. And if the World Championship drivers, obviously because they are World Championship, they can get it perfect. And when you get it right, it makes you like half a second faster. As in qualifying, 40.441 for Jake Robertson, 40.534 for Parisi, 40.563 for Bo Albert. So what you were just mentioning is true. And actually, something that's really interesting, Adam Thomas, 40.971. He has split Albert and Silva in the qualifying charts. As I'm trying to see why we haven't been able to have our feed from Victor Vallee, I'm not sure why, but it appears to be broken on our production side of things, so hopefully we'll be able to take a look there. As it says, stream paused on our internal Discord here, so we'll have to just take a look. As Dibble 41036, there we go. So that's our top 10: Jake Robertson, Parisi, Albert, Thomas, Silva, Dibble, Forrest, Kraus, Hook, and Robbie Larrill, one of the newcomers in the series for the DGRX Motorsports squad. So what's interesting is DGRX, iDrive Sim, they've got like 6 cars in this series. So it's pretty awesome to see from the Australian squad. I talked to them a little bit earlier on, joking about how they were all native or honorary Australians. There's a mixture of Europeans, Australians, and Americans in that team. So great for them to be a part of this series. If you're new here on ASN, you'll notice Bo Albert with a red block next to his name. He is our points leader. He has been all season, dominating performance for the World Championship driver from Australia for Logitech G Altus Esports. We'll have to see if he can maintain that gap with a 12-point advantage over Magnus Okenhaug. But we remember Matt Hartley and Okenhaug with that huge battle a couple seasons ago here to close out that championship as we get ready for heat number 1 here in Sonoma. It's going to give us Jake Robertson here on pole position as we look at Austin Derbyshire makes his return in the 64, Sindre Silva in the 63, Travis Seymour, Bodie Cryer, Jason Hook, and Jake Robertson along with Silva, not in that particular order, getting ready for our first heat race. Uno Jokerino and no Punterino, says Jake Robertson and Kieran Forrest. So clearly the camaraderie here as these drivers are getting ready for this first heat race. And what's interesting, this turn 1, very wide on entry, but it narrows up. So difficult, almost one group in turn number 1.
Yeah, I can foresee it now. You could easily get into that thing 3 wide and have nowhere to go for 1 and maybe even 2 of those cars with the way that the corner arcs around and the wall closes in on you there.
Notice we're going to take a look at Jake Robertson. He likes to fake out his drivers by waiting until the very last second to grid. But what I've noticed when I raced against him, he can hold the inside line so well and prevent you from being able to make a move. So the former race winner, 5 times in one season tying my record, makes his first start this season. Derbyshire jumps a little bit. So does Silva, it looks like, but green flag in heat 1. Silva gets a better start than Robertson down to turn number 1. Robertson couldn't get the jump. Silva wide in turn 1, but Robertson tries to take the lead, and he does.
Yeah, power move on that start there on the inside and getting himself in position.
So Ford versus Subaru as Hook, Cryer, and Seymour over the jump and begin the first lap here in Sonoma. We will take a look at these 2 drivers, the World Championship drivers, Robertson and Silva. Hook out wide in the 137. Watch for him. He's been quick as well. And Robertson looking to pull away. On board car number 22 for Apex Racing Academy. That team has had a dismal season so far with Brokaw and with Forrest. No Brokaw here today, I don't believe, so Robertson making his appearance in that second car. Let's see who will joker on their first opportunity. Robertson does, and so will Hook, and so does Cryer. So Robertson leads us at the end of the first lap. Once the intervals update here, 1.6 seconds ahead of Hook, and Silva 2.2 behind Robertson.
That Joker is a little bit tricky there. It looks like you could really catch somebody off guard if they're not paying attention, because you got to kind of brake in the middle of the speedway there where you're not braking naturally for the regular corner. As
we look with Hook and with Silva, Derbyshire, Seymour, and I believe Silva all had their black flags cleared, if they even had any. At least Silva. Silva jokers here on lap number 2. We focus on the Norwegian coming out of the joker. Can he take the fight to the Briton? He cannot. And Jake Robertson holds the lead as we begin the third lap.
Yeah, but Sindre got close and he got himself back into that transfer spot. That's what's important.
As the defending champion of the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, 2 consecutive wins in the Endurance Cup these last 2 weeks, and you know he wants to get back to the groove here on the regular course. Look how difficult it is, at least in my opinion, that's why I quit, to get this line right between these guys and how inch perfect they are.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. These guys put on a heck of a show here. Some excellent driving going on. Minus that poor cone that got sent to the moon. We won't talk about that. You
know what the funniest thing is? I'm wearing my Patrick Glipshift shirt at this current moment, so that's the most ironic thing. As we look at the lap times that refresh, 41.158 to a 1:47. Robertson over Silva. There was nothing in it between these guys. Robertson on the dirt, on the grass. We take cross flags, and these 2 battling to the death. And it's so awesome to see this competition here in NASA as we enter as we enter the 9th year of competition for this series. Over the jump, Robertson leads. Silva, looks like Robertson was a little bit squirrely over the jump there.
Hey Josh, I'm getting, since you're the dictionary for the series, I'm getting a little birdie in my ear telling me that these guys were teammates last season. Is that correct?
Yes, when they ran Volkswagens, come to think of it, as I have to pull up my encyclopedia here. These two were on the Volkswagen squad, dominating every single thing that had to be won on this series. I completely forgot about that because I haven't seen Robertson in so long. But these two, potentially bad blood, they split up after that championship fight. It's a lot like Hamilton and Rosberg, and we'll have one lap in this heat race to see what Silva will do. 10 race wins for Jake Robertson already. Silva into the wall.
Gets the wall, and that's not good. This was the one part of the track that I think Robertson has been consistently faster in, and now we're starting to get into the part where Cindric can make up time, but now he's far away again and has all this gap to make up. And these guys are out for these cones today.
The lap times, there was nothing in it. 40.854 to 895 between these guys, and the gap was half a second. I don't think it's going to happen today. What's interesting, 10 race wins for Jake Robertson as Silva into the wall. Robertson's got 10 race wins, and he's won here before, and it's crazy to say that it's in 3 seasons that he has that many wins. But either way, pole position for Sonoma as he wins heat number 1 against his former teammate Cindric Silva, who will transfer, as Jason Hook, best of the rest, in the 137. He will come home in 3rd, Cryer 4th, Derbyshire 5th, and Travis Seymour in 6th.
Yeah, definitely a good little battle. Nice, clean race. You know, hopefully we can get a couple of those and we don't have any crazy nonsense that goes on. We can have some nice competitive racing. Give us a preview for, I think this final race tonight is going to be really exciting.
What's interesting is Silva had a better jump in that first or second phase of the start, but then he kind of blew the corner going in. I think he tried to focus on Robertson too much, missed the corner, and that's all Robertson needed.
Yeah, Robertson was definitely hitting his marks and a little bit more consistent there towards the end. But, you know, being Cindric, you got to push. You got to try and get that you know, win here in your heat.
Heat number 2, Parisi, Dipple, Larill, Kingsbury, Howell, and ASN's own Chad Irvine, and we'll keep an eye on that 081. You'll notice somebody's face on the front of that car, and it made me laugh during practice. Green flag, Parisi gets a great jump over Dipple and Larill into turn number 1, and the next DWC driver holds the lead, and I think it's going to be a battle for the transfer spot, but we'll have to wait and see. Dipple getting close through turn 2, over the jump. It's Parisi, Dipple, Kingsbury, Larill, Howell, and Irvine.
Yeah, excellent start there by Connor. He really got off the line good. Just gapped him now. He's got to do is hold on.
Side by side, Kingsbury, Larill off the road. His teammate Howell around in the 666. Those two battling, and Irvine in the 081. Once again, one of ASN's staff here. They are battling for the 5th spot. Irvine, not known for his Rallycross performance here, is off the road in that Volkswagen. Back up front, we look at Parisi holding the lead over Dipple. Let's see who will joker here on the first lap. Nobody jokers out of the top 2. Dipple does. Late move for Dipple in the 34.
Yeah, definitely looked like that was a reaction to Parisi not taking it. Figured he'd try and get an advantage a while. Like you said, it's very last second looking for him to dip off like that.
As Parisi, that's one car you don't want behind you. It is so hard to maintain pace. Take it from me. I managed to beat him once, and it was a complete fluke at Summit Point on the Gymkhana races. We're on board John Dipple in the 34. Up the hill, back onto the asphalt, onto the NASCAR section, former NASCAR section, I should say. A short shoot, down to the joker. Parisi does not joker, but there's no delta here. He's easily going to take this spot. And I guess, Dylan, that just shows it's DWC versus not DWC in performance here. Half a second gap from Dipple to Parisi. Parisi was up that last time.
Yeah, he's definitely closing in. Still hasn't taken that joker, and once he does, it's going to be much over, I think.
Matt Kingsbury in the 21 in the Volkswagen. Robbie Larill in the 213 in the Subaru. We ride on board with Connor Parisi. Will he make the move now? Not this soon.
Oh, he is letting him know he's there, though. He's all over that bumper.
Will American Joker, he will not. To the outside. undercuts him over the jump. Side-by-side contact! And Parisi slides it.
Ooh, nice save there by Parisi. I thought that was going to end up a lot worse than it did.
And the former race winner and Privateer Cup champion.
Look at him gain on the uphill into dirt, though. What a corner.
Side-by-side, but he got his line taken away from Dipple, and these two battling is helping Kingsbury on the outside. Parisi tries to make the move, can't get it done. He gets checked by Dipple. Off the road goes the 11.
Gonna manage to get a hold of it. Oh, no, he got into it.
Nudges him. Parisi does to Dipple in the 34. Kingsbury loves this because he might be battling not only for a transfer, but potentially the win. Dipple into the final corner. Kingsbury takes the spot from Parisi. Side by side. Kingsbury's jokered here, gentlemen, so this is a battle for the transfer spot. 2 to go.
And now if you're Parisi, you gotta worry about being in the heat of a battle and being able to even get to the joker. Oh, no!
He saved it.
Excellent driving here. These guys have been sideways, not in a good way here a few times.
We come to the white flag here in Sonoma. Parisi, if I was him, I would have jokered last lap just to release myself from this chaos.
You know, I feel like he looked like he tried to brake early, like he was going to do it, and maybe Kingsbury had the run and he saw it coming, so he decided not to risk it.
So let's see what will happen. Parisi does not joker. He's just going to take this on the last lap, steal it away from these guys. So we really just have to focus on Dipple and Kingsbury here. White flag for Dipple in the 34. As Lorel jokers in the 213. So if something goes wrong, he will take this spot to the inside. Parisi on Dipple. Can't go. He does get it done. Got the car rotate perfectly on the dirt, but here comes
crosses him over.
Crossover from the British driver on the American.
What a move.
The former race winner in Crandon. As let's see, Dipple's not going to hold this lead because Parisi will take his joker on the final lap. What a move that Parisi did to take that spot, but then Dipple got it back, but it doesn't matter. Parisi, Heat 2, he is victorious ahead of Dipple as Kingsbury, Lorel, Howell, and Chad Irvine to the LCQ here in Heat 2. Wow.
2 down, 2 excellent races. What a show these guys are putting on. This is awesome. We love Sonoma.
As Chad Irvine slams my face into the wall. And no, I did not tell him to put my face on this car.
I might have slipped him a 20 to hit the wall head on.
He insisted on putting my face on this car. So up, and I died into the pole.
I might have slipped him another 20 to do that.
Excellent. I am dead. I'll need a face transplant. As heat number 3, Kieran Forrest in the 44, first on grid. I can't get over how beautiful those Apex cars are this season. Marwan Mafta, Savian Ragster, and we are going to have points leader Bo Albert in the 06. What adversity that he had to come over the last 2 weeks, crashing with Magnus and Crandon, and then with the bolt shearing on his pedals and getting it fixed into the warm-up before that final. As Ray Kingsbury, Matt Keys, Ragster, Forrest, Moftaw, and Albert. That's our grid for heat number 3. As once again, red plate, Bo Albert. He holds that position, holds that points lead. Green flag. Forrest looks like he might have got a better start in the first phase. Albert's going to get a better jump down to turn number 1. Side by side, Mara Mofta squeezes Forrest and Ragster. 3 wide. Forrest gets squeezed out. He was 3 wide in the middle. Turn number 2. Mofta ahead of Ragster. Over the jump for the first time. It's Albert, Mofta, Ragster, Forrest. Forrest gets hit by Ragster. Kingsbury and Ragster have a history. Side by side, 3 wide for a moment. And Matt Keys loves this, watching through the middle. Through the middle goes Kingsbury. Speaking of, Forrest into Ragster. Ragster's getting ping-ponged in the 91 as we take a look at Albert holding Mofta, Kingsbury, Forrest, Ragster, Keys as we get ready to complete the first lap. This is already beginning to be a crazy race.
Yeah, it looks like Albert got really lucky to get that clean start and get out ahead of these guys.
As Forrest and Kingsbury and Ragster contact all 3 of them.
Hey, Ragster's just giving it back what he's been taking this whole first lap. He was getting ping-pong, now he's ping-ponging other people.
And Bo Albert in the 06 holds the lead at the end of the first lap ahead of Marwan Mofta. Remember, Mofta 3 times a race winner in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. He won here in his second start. It was in 2018 or 2019B, I do believe. As Ragster and Forrest battling for third, but that third place doesn't matter as these two, it's not for a transfer spot. Keys gets past Forrest, and Ragster trying to set sights on Moftaw. Moftaw Joker's in the 191, so this should put him in the lead, but they're going to be side by side on the exit. Moftaw leads.
Yeah, but I think Bo Albert's close enough that he can catch him and pass him again before he goes.
Logitech G Altus esports driver Bo Albert, the Australian points leader in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Way squirrely at the top of the hill to the inside of the Egyptian. Can he make it happen? No, they door bang! Back onto the asphalt. Penultimate corner. Albert wants this spot. He knows he's faster, but he's still pushing the envelope here. I don't blame him. I would too, as he jokers in the 06.
Just go ahead and get yourself back out front and get that gap back.
Moftaw holds the transfer spot ahead of Ragster, Keys, Forrest, and Ray Kingsbury, in the 25.
You know, if I'm Bo right now, I think especially when you take that Joker race, because he's been having some bad luck lately. He just wants to get the heck away from these guys and have the race that's in his control again.
Moftaw second, Ragster, Keys, Forrest, Kingsbury, and Albert 39.714. That was a Joker lap. We'll have to see the rotation coming to 2 laps to go. 41.984 was Moftaw's last lap. That was not a Joker lap. We'll compare it to this one. It was 41 flat to a 41.3. Interesting that Moftaw was 0.3 up, but I think he had the better angle into the corner as he did not take the Joker. 1.4 seconds from Albert to Moftaw with 2 laps to go. This heat subdued here for the moment as all of our drivers have jokered, as we can signify on our graphics created by our director, Victor Vallee. Great graphic work.
Moftaw looked really slow there as he came back off the dirt. Did anybody see that? Yeah, he might have had a penalty.
As I'll take a look off screen there, I think he did. He was 4 off.
There, he's going to be all over in this last lap. Here they come.
White flag. Moftaw did have a slowdown in the 191, and this is what Ragster needs on Subaru versus Beetle. Up the carousel, they're going to go down the hill and then back up the hill, and we know Ragster, one of the most aggressive drivers, and that's not a dig against him. He's going to get a better run on Moftaw through the corner, up the hill.
He's going to be there. Is he going to have enough?
Trying to defend on the outside. He's going to try and do the undercut. Beating and banging there. Little bump draft if it was Daytona. The inside Ragster on Moftaw. Nips him a little bit in the 191. He's going to give it back, but he can't get over the jump. No, as Albert wins the heat race. Moftaw holds on to second. Great sportsmanship. I'm getting all crossed up with my words here.
Woo! What a finish there. That was really exciting. Unfortunate for Moftaw that he had the slowdown, but that was excellent.
Wow. Let's take a breath. Albert Moftaw transfer. Then it's Ragster, Forrest, Keys, and Kingsbury. Wow. Heat 4. And it just keeps getting better and better. Thomas, Kraus, Okenhaug, Rateau, and Feldman. That's our grid. We have 5 cars in this heat race. Philip Kraus, 24 wins in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Magnus Okenhaug has 2. Because those are the only 2 race winners in this heat race. Kraus, a 4-time champion of the series. As we wait for Adam Thomas, who had a really stellar qualifying lap, puts him on pole position of heat number 4. Continuing the trend of the pole position, winning the heat race, we'll have to see. Green flag, Kraus better start off the line than Thomas. Into turn 1, Canadian versus American, and Kraus holds the spot. Okenhaug passes Thomas, and Thomas gets swallowed up on the start. Gets hit by Romain Rateau as they're side-by-side. Rateau, the Frenchman, as Feldman off the road in the 84, and Kraus, who came victorious in Road Atlanta last week in the GT Americas, out front here in Sonoma.
I was wondering what was going on with Feldman. Almost looked like we were going for a first lap Joker there.
That's Kraus ahead of Okenhaug. Thomas, I think, is a little bit disgruntled being in the 3rd spot because he was faster over that qualifying lap but we'll just have to see. Okenhaug, the Norwegian, and then in the 26. By association, these two are essentially teammates, but also technically not. We'll have to wait and see. Who will joker here? Kraus does not. Okenhaug, no. It looks like nobody's going to joker on this first opportunity. Interesting to see as Philip Kraus holds the lead at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, Phil looking pretty quick here tonight. Got a nice smooth line going.
Up the hill in the carousel. Back down the hill. Car number 19 ahead of car number 26. For HM Engineering Spark Last Lap Motorsports. Okenhaug very close to the wall there as we focus on Thomas. Looks like he got a slowdown. He pulls over for Rateau in the 23. As Okenhaug over the jump into the wall. He got a little bit squirrely there in the 26. Nobody has jokered yet in this heat race. As we get to lap number 3, we're coming across flags, and no strategy's been unraveled here, Dylan. It's interesting to see that.
Yeah, these guys seem to be holding their cars a little bit closer this year, this heat race. They don't want to give it up yet. I don't think anybody wants to be the guy who goes first, because it seems like you're at a disadvantage all night so far.
As the further we get into the heat races, the less and less dirt. I won't bore everyone about the details of dirt on asphalt, but what's going to be interesting is when the dirt crew, or the track crew, redoes the dirt here, it's going to be a brand new track, I think, for the LCQs. Okenhaug jokers can't get anything done on Kraus. But then, I would hate to be one of the race leaders in the LCQ or even the final when they reset the track, because you are the sweeper. You have to clear the track, and then everybody else can reap the benefits of the grip. Okenhaug, the only man to joker so far in heat number 4. He has a decent lead over Romain Rateau in the 23. And Philip Kraus has not jokered as we take 2 laps to go. I think Kraus is just going to wait until the last lap, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely think he's just holding off.
As the Canadian, so many spirited battles that he has had. Thought he was retired at the end of last season, but he has decided to run part-time in both NASA series this season, or this calendar year, I'd like to think. Racing on tracks that he wants to race at. No longer going for a championship, all that glory attained. Second all-time on the wins list, pretty much solidified. As I look on my spreadsheet, I'm retired, no Wets, no Erdman, no Living Good. The only closest one is Jake Robertson with 10 wins in 6th. Kraus jokers, as we take the white flag here in Sonoma, that top 2 has not changed.
That gap has changed, though. It's unless Phil makes a mistake here, there's no way. Yeah, incredible lap.
38.909 for the Canadian. And take it from me, as former teammates to him, he gets in the zone, he gets laser focused, you can't stop this kid. He's been fast ever since he joined this championship, and he lengthens his heat win total as Philip Kraus wins in 4 ahead of Magnus Okenhaug, who transfers in the 26. Romain Rateau, Adam Thomas, Diane Feldman will bring up the remaining order. And Thomas got swallowed up on that start there, and I'm genuinely upset because I'm curious to see what would have happened, but he got the slowdown, he got swallowed up, and just the 625 didn't have any luck. As we get ready for our C main. And just like that, we are already in the first consolation race here in Sonoma. Reminder, 5 laps, joker lap once, and only the winner will transfer. So if you think the heat races are a brawl, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the business is about to pick up.
As 4 Subarus, 2 Volkswagens, and 1 Ford in this race. And this turn 1 is going to be something else. A lot of fast guys in this race. As we get ready for the first consolation race here in Sonoma. Let's see who will budge down to turn number 1. Hook on a terrible start. Bodie Cryer in the 05. Great start as he takes the lead. Forrest nearly nudges the 137 of Hook, and Ragster in second. Cryer got a lightning start. Keys into Forrest. Onto Keys there, nearly lands on him. And now we'll have to focus on Ragster and Cryer as we begin the first lap. Hook runs it out wide in the 137. Take him out of the equation. The track goes a little bit farther than that, mate. You got a little bit confused there. Forrest battling with him. That's for third. That doesn't matter, but we focus on Ragster and on Cryer. I can't get over how great of a start that was for Cryer, but we know how fast Ragster is.
Yeah, he's definitely not afraid to say it. So even if he doesn't take it before that,
We're focused on riding on board with Cryer here, but Derbyshire just forced his way through on Hook and Forrest. And the winner here in 2019A, the one-time winner in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, doesn't want to take any prisoners here. And this is interesting because Hook and Forrest have jokered. The top two have not. So this is going to be intermingling strategies here. And if I was Sabian or even Bodie Cryer, I would joker immediately. I don't want to get caught up in these guys' battles for third. Hook into the wall, so was Forrest, so they both followed each other into the wall.
I shouldn't have said anything, I jinxed it.
Commentators curse. Hook hits the wall again. Derbyshire hits Forrest. Those two have come together literally 5 times in 2 laps. And Cryer pulling away, 41.5 to a 41.4, so it was about a 1/10 of a second margin between these two. Ragster getting close, the gap at the line, 0.6 of a second, 6.5 to be technical. It's going to be interesting as we take crossed flags here in the C main. If Ragster can take the fight to Cryer, Ragster a little bit wide there in the penultimate corner. I think Ragster just overcompensating. He might be pushing a little bit too hard. We'll watch and see the lap times here. 41.4 to a 41.9, half a second down. As Keys and Seymour, I'm taking a look off monitor here as I noticed something. They have come together up the hill in the carousel. Keys drilled Seymour and Wreck-It Ralph has rolled it on the grid. As those two, well, Seymour back in the paddock there. Cryer holds the lead, coming to the white flag ahead of Ragster. And Bodie Cryer for iDrive Sim Training, trying to get them into another final here in NASA Rallycross. As Ragster, Cryer, and Derbyshire have not jokered. Hook has jokered. Forrest has jokered. But it is a faster lap. It's not like it's a slower lap. So these two, unfortunately, for Ragster, unfortunately at least, I think it's going to be a formation finish. They're going to follow each other home. Final couple of corners for Bodie Cryer in the 05. Ragster has to make the joker. I think he kind of might have forgotten.
Yeah, it looked like he was behind the ball there.
Cryer wins the C main. Ragster will seed 11th in the overall classification, 13th for Hook, 15th for Derbyshire, 17th for Forrest, the first car with no points today, 19th Seymour, and 21st is Matt Keys. And it's all down to the start. Cryer aced it there off the grid. So now we have 8 cars going for one spot. 4 Subarus, 1 Ford, and 3 Volkswagens. So literally the same car count that we had at that last race. Matt Kingsbury, Romain Rateau, Robbie Larill, Adam Thomas, Andrew Howell, Diane Feldman, Chad Irvine, and Ray Kingsbury. This is going to suck for Ray Kingsbury. He is 8th, and he has to get to the lead. But we've seen it happen. I've seen Ray go from 10th and manage to finish on the podium in a feature race. So the American from Connecticut certainly can get it done.
Yeah, this is a very crowded starting grid here. This might be exciting getting into this first turn.
As Howell looks like he'll miss the start in the 666. He has fallen out of the server, so unfortunately for him, he won't be able to take the fight. Couple cars jumped the start. Rateau jumped the start. Kingsbury jumped the start. And who loves this is Robbie Larill in the 213. Kingsbury in the 21 in second. Thomas in the 625. Rateau, Feldman, Kingsbury, and Chad Irvine. As black flags being cleared for all those drivers that jumped the start. Very not messy for accidents. Irvine way off the track and smashes my face into the wall once again. Battling for the lead, it's Larill versus Kingsbury. Kingsbury had the run on the inside. Now he's going to be put onto the outside, and he got the move done.
Yeah, made it work there. Made a lane on the apron essentially down there, and forced his way in and made it happen.
Let's see who will Joker here on the first opportunity. Kingsbury does in the 21, just to make sure that he does not get hindered by any of these other cars off strategy. Larill, Thomas, and Ray Kingsbury Jokers as well. So will he be able to take the fight? He gets by Thomas here, and now he's going to fight Larill into turn one. He gets by Thomas, took him a minute. Side by side for a moment, he's cleared, sandwiched between them. Thomas nearly hits him. Remember him, Thomas and his brother are teammates. No team orders there, they are banned from the series, but he is getting gobbled up here by both of them. On the outside, Thomas in the 25, in the 625, up the hill, out of the carousel. Thomas checks him and pushes him out wide.
Yeah, they don't look like teammates.
Into the wall was Kingsbury, and Thomas
Oh
gets hit.
no, he's up in the air. What an impact.
And the Beetle gets squashed, and the 625 is over. And the 081 of Chad Irvine. Might have to put Band-Aids on my face for the next time he races as many times as he's crashed, but I surely owe Adam Thomas. All he says on the chat is nice, so I'm thoroughly expecting him to be upset. Matt Kingsbury loves this, though, boys. He is a huge gap ahead of Robbie Larill, 3.1 seconds.
Yeah, and Larill can't really focus in on gaining that time because he's got somebody right all over him here.
As Romain Rateau, the Frenchman, in the 23. As we're taking a look at a replay here of just all the chaos that happened as we roll it through, we notice Thomas checks Kingsbury there in the 25. He hits the wall, hits Thomas in the process. Thomas hits the end of the wall, and then he gets hit by Rateau. Sends him into the orbit. Back to live pictures, I hope Rateau and Larill there made contact.
Yeah, this battle's getting intense here.
As they are battling for the second spot, remember, but if we take a look, hopefully I can pull it up and see. They have not, or Rateau has jokered. Larill has not, so he is getting caught up in this battle with Rateau. He hits the wall. This is crucial for Kingsbury, but it's detrimental to Larill as he nearly gets hit by Rateau again. These two are getting really messy.
Yeah, Larill still has to joker. Like, it's hard with all these cars all around you racing hard because, he might not be able to get down there.
They take the white flag. Matt Kingsbury looks like he's a lock on this 10th seed. Larill, Rateau, Kingsbury, Feldman, Thomas. As Howell has not jokered as Feldman. I don't know why Howell is listed. Kingsbury spins around in the 25. So it looks like Ray Kingsbury will miss the final, but his brother will make the final. One brother loses, one brother wins. 10th seed to Matt Kingsbury in the 21. 12th place in his first race, Robbie Larill. 14th for Rateau. 16th for Feldman. 18th for Ray Kingsbury. 20th for Thomas. 22nd for Irvine. And 23rd for Howell. As you guys take a look at that, I will see you guys in just a few minutes.
As I was trying to look at that replay, I guess iRacing doesn't like me too much, but that's alright. So, after some chaotic LCQs, I guess we're on to the final now, and boy, has it gotten loud.
Yeah, tempo's been picking up steadily all night here. It's now you know it's really about to get cranked up. We're gonna put it up to 11.
Yeah, put it up to 11 indeed. I think we just put it up to at least 25 in the LCQs, but now I think it's going to be up to 50 at least for the feature event with Matt Kingsbury transferring on. Bo Albert, of course, making it through in his heat event, was able to win that outright, so no problems for Albert this time around, no brake pedal issues.
Yet.
And that, honestly, that's one big thing, is just not having issues. If you are the points leader, it seems like there is a curse on being the points leader in NASA Rallycross sometimes, I believe. Now, I don't know how true that is, and maybe Josh can tell me how true it is, but ever since we've moved to iRacing, it seems like there's almost a curse on being the points leader. It seems like they seem to have a lot more issues as the points leader. Maybe it's just because they're under a bigger microscope. Who knows? But with that said, however, Jake Robertson looks to come back in his first start of the season and win. So if there's anyone who can take a fight to him, who would it be, Dylan? So I think we've lost Dylan here, but...
By the way, Victor, one thing to note, you have all three manufacturers starting on the front row here.
Yes, we do. And I think, I can't be for certain in this, but I believe Sindre will be starting behind Jake in the preferred lane. That might actually play out and benefit Sindre. Starting from the second row, I believe, on the inside is where he's going to be starting.
I just got to say, man, this has been fun to actually drive this series for once and join you guys up here in the booth afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
You guys have put on a great show.
I didn't even realize you were in here, Chad, and I was trying to figure out where Dylan was, and thought that was Dylan talking. That was actually our play-by-play announcer for the GT America Series, the voice of the GT America Series, Chad Irvine, who just had probably the craziest LCQ of recent memory for sure.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. You know, I got into trying to avoid contact. You know, I'm not the most skilled rallycross driver, so trying to stay out of everybody's, give them space. And it was crazy off the start. A lot of people jumped right off the beginning and had to look their way up through the field. But congratulations to Matt for taking that heat and working his way up to the final.
Yeah, Matt finally making some headways here in the points and getting into another feature. Started off the year somewhat strong, but has fallen off the map the last couple weeks here. But it looks like he's going to try to get his season back together here at Sonoma as we pass the halfway point in the championship. And I noticed a lot more drivers a little bit more temperamental, a little bit more angry with each other. Did you notice anyone really angry with each other out there, Chad? Because it seemed like we had a lot of angry drivers out there.
Especially in the C main, there was just a lot of contact. I believe, if I'm remembering right, it was Kieran Forrest, Darby Shire, and maybe Jason as well. Jason Hook. I think that the three of those, they were really going at it for a couple of laps, and I saw some questionable moves there made by drivers. But you know what? It's racing in the end, and the stewards will discuss that after the event.
Yeah, absolutely. We have full faith in our steward panel to make the right calls on incidents that have occurred in the race so far. And definitely, I do agree with you. There have been some questionable moves made by some drivers, but nevertheless, we're about to get the feature on your way. I don't know if you're going to stick around or not here in the booth, but you are absolutely welcome to, as we welcome back in the voice of the Simracer Claim NASA Rallycross Challenge, Josh Mertz.
As we get ready for, you guessed it, the final here in Sonoma. Round 182, and yes, I'm going to say this every single week, of the championship overall. 6th round of the 22nd season, and our grid looks like this. On pole position, Jake Robertson, alongside Connor Parisi and Bo Albert. Second row of the grid, Philip Kraus and Sindre Silva. John Dipple, Marwan Moftah, and Magnus Ogenhaug, then Bodie Cryer and Matt Kingsbury, all by their lonesome on the back row of the grid. 10 cars, 10 laps, 2 jokers. And I normally say this, but realistically, anything can happen. As we welcome you to the feature race in Sonoma. This race brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by sim racers for sim racers. And we have 10 racers that will race to own the winner's coin tonight. Check out their mission and platform, simracercoin.org. Thank you all for joining us here on the Automotive Sports Network as we get ready to go for round 6 here in Sonoma. Green flag off the line. Parisi gets a great start. Robertson sleeping on the start. Albert 3 wide with Silva and Robertson into turn 1. Albert gets turned as he saves it in the 0-6. Great save for the championship leader. Parisi loves this. Out and away from the rest of the field. Robertson in second. Albert gets turned by Dipple. Over is the championship leader in the 0-6. Ogenhaug gets turned as well. So the top 2 in the championship lost in the back of the pack. They're 9th and 10th. Out in front, it's Parisi, Robertson, Kraus, Silva, Dipple, Moftah, Cryer, Kingsbury, Ogenhaug, and Albert on the back foot. And you know who absolutely loves this? It's a guy named Sindre Silva. Kraus battling with Robertson side by side for the second spot. Britain versus Canadian, and the 22 holds the position. Silva, the Norwegian, getting close. He is in the 4th position, but we'll have to wait and see. Can Albert and Ogenhaug gain this time back? They are miles behind the rest of the field as we end the first lap. Jokering is Silva, but Parisi at the line. Does he know? Silva leads at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, Silva took that joker and stole it from him there. It's a smart move. Get out ahead and get away from these guys a little bit.
This is exactly what he needs. He's got the momentum of the last 2 race wins in the championship, and Silva trying to steal this championship away. He's 17 points behind Albert, gets nudged by Parisi, but he saves it. But this is crucial. Albert on the back foot in the 9th position, 5 seconds behind Cryer in the 0-5. Jokering, it looked like was Parisi. I lost it on the screen there. He does joker. Parisi back to the lead. Huge gap from him to Silva. Side by side, Cryer with Dipple. They're battling in the back of the field. Looks like Ogenhaug jokers on his first bit of strategy. He gets by Albert. Sliding is the Norwegian, then 26. Side by side, Cryer with Dipple still as we take a look through the field here. The 05 and the 34 crossing him over in the carousel. Looking at Parisi over the jump. Jokering is Robertson in the 22. He's got more momentum as he did not jump there. Robertson, first joker done, and now the top 4. Kingsbury, actually, Matt Kingsbury jokers. Contact with Robertson and Parisi battling for the race lead. Matt Kingsbury has jokered both times. His strategy's done. He has shown his cards, and that might not have been a good idea for him. Parisi, Robertson, Silva, Kingsbury, Kraus, Dipple, Moftah, Ogenhaug, Cryer, and Albert. Albert has not jokered. I'm going to guarantee that Albert is pulling a strategy that I definitely would back in my driving days. When you get taken out, my headphones have stopped working, so I won't be able to catch you guys. But when you don't take your strategy right away and you gain ground, then you can joker and gain that ground back. Give me just a moment if I can have Chad take over. Let me fix my audio.
Yeah, the big thing to note, your points leader, Bo Albert, still working right on the back bumper of Bodie. Cryer still up front, though. Connor Parisi trying to run away with it. He has about a half second, maybe a full second lead over Jake Robertson. Sindre Silva working all over the back bumper, though, of Robertson. Followed up by Kraus and Kingsbury, your top 5. Talked about Kingsbury taking his 2 jokers already, so everybody behind him is going to have some time to make up. Taking the joker is John Dipple. Marwan Moftah takes a jump, and that's going to be an interesting battle coming out between Moftah and losing a bunch of spots there. John Dipple, though, trying to work his way up. He got past Matt Kingsbury there with, I believe, his 2nd joker, if I'm not mistaken. Doing a great job just trying to work his way up through the grid. He's right catching Philip Kraus there in 4th position.
Looks like Kingsbury had a slowdown. Hopefully I don't sound too bad. I had go back to the iPhone microphone, hopefully. No idea why my headphones stopped working, so I'll have to figure out why that one is the case. But Parisi ahead of Robertson, ahead of Silva, Kraus, Dipple, top 5. As apparently I broke everything.
Bo Albert taking his first Joker so far, and he gets by. That was Magnus Okenhaug, yeah, and he's already by Cryer as well, and that's a big send by Okenhaug. But man, Bo Albert really doing a great job getting the undercut back, crossing him back over as he goes through this left-handed turn 3.
This puts Robertson in the lead ahead of Parisi as we begin 3 laps to go here. Silva, Kraus, Dipple, Moftov. Moftov looks like he might have completed his strategy as well.
These top 4 battling real hard. Robertson, the only one of those top 4 that's taken both Jokers, Parisi, Silva, and Kraus. All still have the second one still to burn.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Robertson's Parisi. If I take a look here, I don't think Parisi is Joker.
Parisi just took his second, I believe.
So this puts Robertson.
This is for the lead. They've both taken all their Jokers.
Side by side for the race lead. Parisi on the curb.
Did he get a slowdown? That's going to be the interesting thing there. Robertson right behind, has some work to do.
I don't think he did get a slowdown, but it was a beautiful move.
Yeah, he was really forced onto that curbing hard by Robertson, and here he comes right back on the charge coming up the hill.
Coming to the white flag here in Sonoma, and Parisi determined to take this win and take the lead, and he did. And look at who still has a Joker. It's Sindri Silva into 63 if this graphic is correct, so the defending champion might steal this away.
Yeah, he's got 3.5 seconds to make up. Of course, that Joker will save him time, but he goes very wide in turn number 1.
Right on board with Jake Robertson. Huge run off the carousel. On the bottom, contact between them, and they're both sideways. And the 22 into the wall.
What a save there by Robertson. All this does is open the door for Sindri Silva. Can he do it coming out of the Joker for the final time?
As we take a look at Silva, can't get it done. Parisi will win number 9 in the championship, and he wins again this season in car number 11.
Sindri Silva takes the podium, Philip Kraus then 4th, but the interesting thing to note, your points leader Bo Albert worked his way all the way up to 7th place and did a little excursion there after the checker flag.
As I'm going to work on getting my stuff fixed while you guys handle the post-race show, so give me just a couple more minutes.
Technical difficulties are something we've seen time and time again. Bo Albert, of course, had them last week where he had his brake pedal fail in the middle of the event, was somehow able to make it back into the final, or win his LCQ to qualify for the final, end up finishing 4th there. Let's take a look real quick at your final results here from the feature at Sonoma. Up top was Connor Parisi, getting another great performance out of him. What a battle he had with Jake Robertson there as well. Followed by 3rd was Sindri Silva. Philip Kraus jumping in for, I believe, his first start of the season. He finished 4th. Then John Dipple. Marwan Mafta, the guy that taught me how to drive this track. He maybe has a little bit more work to do with me because I was a little bit rusty, but hey. Congratulations to Marwan on a 6th place finish. Then Bo Albert, Magnus Okenhaug, and then Bodie Cryer and Matt Kingsbury finish out the field here in the feature. And these guys put on a terrific show.
And that they did, Chad. And we are about to be joined by a 3rd place finisher tonight. It's going to be Sindri Silva here, taking home 3rd place in a very eventful feature event. So Sindri, talk us through how crazy that race was for you.
I don't know. I'm so disappointed of my pace here. I just had a lack of I don't know, information or something. I thought it was gonna be won to the final, and didn't watch the chats of the So practice a lot, one track, and I thought that was gonna be the impact there. But yeah, Yeah.
We saw you take your first Joker on lap 1. You saved your last one for the very final lap. Did you think you had to run at them as they were battling so hard in front of you?
Yeah. So they, I saw that they got a little gap, and I wanted to kind of not slow Connor down in that way, but like have Connor fight for me, not drive his lines all the time, so Jake could catch up to him, and then maybe make the race easier for me. I saw they did battle for the 3 or 4 last laps or something, but yeah, I just did tons of mistake, and I'm just so disappointed, to be honest, of this race.
Yeah, this was a track I remember that you actually made the final in WRX. Tell us about that experience and kind of how that translated to this performance here.
So Sonoma has always been one of my favorite tracks. It's always been one of those tracks I've been fast at. I had a Pro Q win here at Sonoma, and I had that final in IRX World Championship at Sonoma. So it's been really showing where I have the pace, and when I just have the lack of pace and lack of, I don't know, talent. I don't care, but yeah, it's like, yeah, didn't go my way here. Luckily for me, Bo didn't score that much point either. So yeah, I'm sorry for the contact into you one for sure.
Yeah, Bo Albert involved, of course, in contact and finished, worked his way back up to 7th. But you put on a great show, Sindre. As we wrap things up, anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors or anything? Any shout outs you got to give?
Yeah, I want to thank the LLM guys for helping during the race. Fox Gaming for their awesome support during the whole year so far. Their sponsors, Power, Örskog Sparebank, and Fjordofil.
Okay, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. We'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Sindre Silva, driver number 63, Fox Gaming Subaru, as we get set to be joined by your 2nd place finisher, Jake Robertson. Jake, it was fun hanging out with you during the heat races and everything, and it was definitely fun to watch you battle there with Connor. Just walk us through that race, because you guys put on quite the show.
I didn't get a great start, to be honest with you. I think partly because Connor has insane starts, and partly because the Subaru has a little bit of a better launch control. But I was kind of hunting Connor down that entire time. I tried to play him on the Joker strategy, but unfortunately, the lap after I took the Joker, I messed up. So Connor managed to just tip ahead into the first corner, the lap after I jokered. Other than that, it was a really tight battle. It was good fun.
You started on the pole and unfortunately, you talked about that also. Talk about the differences between both the Ford that you're driving and the Subaru of Connor, because you talked about the starts. What else is different between them? Is there any advantages to driving one over the other? Or does it really make a difference?
I wouldn't say there's any advantages. I would say it's more of a comfort thing. But I think maybe the Ford might be a little bit better on the roadside, and the Subaru's definitely better on the dirt, but it evens out over the course of a lap.
And looking forward, next week we go to Phoenix. Do you have any thoughts on that track?
It's not my best track, but got to give it a shot, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's a very long Joker there, but the Joker here, especially taking 2 of them in the feature, kind of talk about your strategy there and when you took them, because it definitely made things interesting between you and Connor at the end.
I took my first one to try and get ahead of Sindre, because he'd obviously taken a Joker when we hadn't, and he was just ahead of us, so not that I don't know if he would have slowed me down or not. I haven't really looked at the lap times, but I just wanted to be in the mirror of Connor. And eventually Connor made a mistake, and I got onto the back of him. I tried to Joker again when I was right on his tail, so I could maybe put in a slightly better lap and be ahead of him by the end, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out.
Overall, you guys put on a great show. You and Connor and Sindre all raced in in the World Championship Series together. What's it like kind of racing against these guys once you get a feel for how they drive and their driving style? Does it kind of make things easier on you, take the pressure off just a little bit?
Yeah, it definitely takes the pressure off. It's always good fun racing like Connor, Sindre, and Bo Albert. So even I reckon any of the guys in the league kind of put up a good fight, and it's always fun. So yeah.
And let's wrap things up here with, of course, the final question. Any sponsor you want to thank? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, so Apex Racing Academy, SDK Gaming, and Simputers.
Well, hey, congratulations on a second place finish with Jake Robertson, driver of the number 22 Apex Racing Academy Ford Focus.
Cheers.
And one final interview as we wrap things up here, getting set to be joined by the winner here in Sonoma, Connor Parisi. Connor, what a fantastic battle there we had at the end. Just let's start out by just having us walking us through this these last couple laps.
Yeah, so Jake was probably much faster than me, but I had that Joker in the bag, so I took it, and boy, was I brave onto the brakes into turn one, but it stuck, so here we are.
Yeah, after coming up the hill and going through turn 2, I believe it is, you saw some contact between you two there. Kind of talk about how did that impact you guys? Because it definitely looked like it maybe put one, if not both of you guys into that tire barrier.
Oh yeah, well we're going for the win, so we're both gonna, lay it all on the line right there. So I know there was no malice with that contact. It's just part of Rallycross.
And we talked to Jake about this, and Sindre's talked about it as well. Running against other IRX drivers, does that kind of help you at all, knowing like, okay, even if we get aggressive here, they're just not going to completely punt me for the win?
Yeah, there's a certain level of trust with guys that you've raced with quite a bit. Obviously, I've raced with them more than the rest of the field, I think. So I know how they're going to react. I know their tendencies, so I know where I can put the car and where they're going to leave room or not leave room where applicable.
Yeah, talk about your start. I mean, you got off to a great jump, and then from there, it really seemed that you kind of were just biding your time, just wait until you took your jokers. But I mean, it seems really here the second place is where you want to be on the start, because that inside line really gets pinched off quick.
I've always joked that the only thing keeping me in the World Championship is my launches. So I got another good one here, and then I was just hoping that the other fast guys would kind of slow each other up. And then I was going to try to hold my jokers to the end. I was kind of play their card first, but Sindre kind of forced me to take mine early. So luckily I was able to save the second one.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put on a great show all season. Unfortunately, Bo Albert taken out on early contact. But, I mean, just so far, your thoughts is on the league this season, because we're about halfway through, and you guys have put on show after show, making it a great experience for everybody to watch.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I wish I could have made more of a run for the championship, but I knew I was going to miss a round or two, and then having my connection issues earlier in the season kind of wrote that off. So it's just wins on out. I'm just gunning for the win, so it's going to be a show for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a show, and a great one at that. As we wrap things up, any sponsors you want to thank? Anybody you need to shout out?
Well, I did win, and winners get whiskey, so I got shout out Fistful of Bourbon. I'm going to go crack one of those open right now.
Can I have some?
Yeah, swing on by. And then the rest of everyone at Jim Beaver Esports is so great. We got Dirtfish and Polaris and Vision Wheel. We got the whole crew on there, so it's really cool to have all these cool partners on us for the Rallycross program.
Yeah, looking forward to Phoenix next week. Any expectations for that track?
Survive the jump, and I think we'll be good to go.
Well, hey, congratulations on another great finish. We'll see you next week at Phoenix. That's Connor Parisi, driver of the number 11 Subaru. What a great show he put on today. So wrap things up here.
I think we're back now.
We seem to have our fearless leader, Josh Mertz, back in the house.
So I thought I charged my headphones before the race, and clearly they weren't charged. So I will go ahead. I'll let you guys do your final thoughts, and I'll wrap things up before these things die again.
Well, I mean, my final thoughts are it was great to have the experience of running in this league, getting some seat time against top talent. Definitely learned a lot. It's a great community, and they put on a fantastic show in front of me. I got to watch it all through my windshield. Definitely fun to do. What about you guys? Any thoughts on today's event?
Victor? Unless we've lost Victor. I don't know where
No,
he
we
went.
have not lost me yet. To say, keep dreaming on that one, Josh. But no, I mean, honestly, wow, I mean, honestly, there was a little bit of a mess at the beginning of the race, and unfortunately, those things are going to happen in racing. But at the end of the day, we had another fantastic battle for the win and another fantastic race with a lot of strategy throughout the event. And I got to give a shout out to Philip Kraus, coming home fourth behind the 3 pro drivers that did not have issues in the race. Unfortunately, Bo did. But at the end of the day, a fantastic performance by him, and he is going to be absolutely a threat to be reckoned with for the rest of the season in the races that he does run for sure.
And
Yeah, it was
did we
definitely
lose
fun
Dylan?
to watch. And Dylan, are you here?
We might have lost him.
Seb,
I know he
we
likes to
have
vanish
lost.
right
Yeah.
after the checkered flag. He
I
vanished.
believe I heard he was going down for a hot dog, and he's having trouble getting back up to the booth. But
Yeah, we might have locked him out. He forgot his key. That's all right. But
you gotta
Josh,
remember your key fob, Dylan.
But Josh, go ahead and wrap this thing up.
As we crossed the halfway mark in this championship, and once again, the pro drivers do not disappoint. So we got through the Endurance Cup. We're back on the regular tracks. We're going to head to Phoenix next week. And like Connor said, that jump absolutely chaotic, just like this race. But I mean, it gets better every single week. That's from all of us here at NASA and the Automotive Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge. Remember, the series and the broadcast brought to you by Simracer Coin, the cryptocurrency made by Simracers for Simracers. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the GT Americas presented by Simracer Coin. There's this weird guy named Chad Irvine that I think is going to be there. Can't remember what track, but he's here. So what track were you at?
We are at a track that
That's
turns
great.
left and right.
That is excellent.
You can tell that my head is focused on a rallycross for now, but let me do some research real quick and double check. We are at Barber Motorsports Park.
That's going to be a good one. So make sure you tune in on these channels tomorrow. You'll join Mike Berry, Victor Vallee, Chad Irvine there. And then next week for us in the Simracer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge from the Phoenix Raceway, we'll have to wait and see if Bo Albert can manage to hold this points lead. Unofficially, he still has 13 points over now Sindre Silva. Like I said, from all of us here at ASN, from NASA, thank you all for joining us, for watching, participating, whatever it may be. But we will see you either tomorrow or next week. But until then, so long, everyone.